So today we are going to talk about how to research a lead that comes in our lead system and using a couple different kinds of apps that you might be able to see if they're actually a legit person or if they are trying to put you on a Netflix special. And we're going to use today an app called Forewarn for most of our interactive training and everything else. We in the Triad MLS get that for free. So if you are interested in it in a different MLS, you're more than welcome to buy it. But I know that most of the MLSs in this area right now are actually included in it for free for all of us. So it's pretty awesome. All right, so let's jump in right now. All right, so we are going to jump into our Real Geeks. This is where our leads come into our system for all of our clients and family and friends that are looking for properties on here. So if we got an online lead, and I am going to look up a lead number right here because then I don't get in trouble for bullying because, yeah, it's my wife's. My first wife, actually. My only one, but you can take it how you want to. So I am going to look up this lead. So this lead came into our lead system. Let's just pretend that it's in here. And we want to see if it's actually a legit person. So what we need to do is we need to bring up our Forewarn app. Now, you can do this off of a desktop, but I'm actually going to do it off of my phone on here with a little bit of movie magic. So I'm going to pull up right here. And this is actually my cell phone that we are looking at right now. So I'm going to come down here and let's turn this mouse on. And we are going to click on the Forewarn app. Now, to get started with it, looks like that's a little bit slow. Okay, so now I got to do my verification code, and as you can see, I am verifying it right now with my fingertip. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to look up this phone number to see if it's a legit person because, you know, we don't want to go show properties to people that might be, you know, like I said before, got bad intentions. Real estate agents have one of the most dangerous jobs in the world, if you did not know that. So we're going to go 828-406-1631, and I'm going to hit search. Now, great thing about Forewarn is that it actually has a lot going on for it. I don't know who Eric is, but maybe she got some explaining to do, Miss Bonnie. All right, so now we see where Bonnie Nicole Owens is 40 years old and where she lives at. And so I'm looking at it and saying, okay, the phone number matches the name. So I'm going to click right here. She's got 2 criminal things. And one thing I'm going to tell you about the criminal infractions. This includes everything from things that were dismissed or speeding tickets, expired tags, things like that. But a great thing that you can do with this is you can look to make sure that they're not just, you know, a crazy person or whatever you want. So we can see a lot going on right here. So we can see the properties that they have had in the past or telephone numbers, addresses where they live at. So let's just say, for example, you've got a vacant piece of land that somebody called you and said they want to sell. And you want to see where that person actually lived in correlation to the land. So this would tell me right here, address history. So I'm going to click right here. So if she said that she's living in Florida right now and trying to sell a piece of vacant land, I would be like, nah, this is something suspicious. Now this puts up every single property, whether it's an address that they actually lived in or just owned or whatnot. Because, for example, this was a flip house, that was a flip house, that was a flip house, this is our office, that was, it's now a rental. But as you can see, our main address up there is correct and is up to date, which is pretty awesome for you guys to be able to look up. Now, and I am going to go back for a second. My keyboard's been a little bit slow on here for running this GlideX program right here to see what's going on. So now I can see everything that's going on. Now I want to make sure, let's just say that I'm calling her and that phone number, she's not answering it. Because let's just say that might be a house phone or an old number. I'm going to look at phone history and I'm going to see the different ones that it is. So 406-1631, I know that's hers. I know it's correct. And then if you look down on the list, if you look at that 336-249-7304, that's our old home phone number. We no longer have that. I have no clue what any of these other numbers are on here. But if you want to be a superhero lead conversioner, I don't know if that's a word, but if you do, I'd call all these if I'm not getting a hold of somebody and everything else. All right. And then lastly, let's just say you still got a little bit of a weird feeling for them and you want to say, okay, does that person actually drive the car that they're sitting in? Guess what? I can hit vehicle right there and it shows my wife's shaggin' wagon minivan at the top, and then our Lexus that we've had, and then the other ones are gone. So it's not that they own all these vehicles still, it's just that they own them at some point in life. So it's something that you can look at. Now, if you're sitting here and you're wondering, what else can I do with this? Not a lot. Other than the fact of, let's just say that you had a bad phone number and you wanted to look up their name. So I'm going to go search by name. My glide exit isn't working great, so I'm going to go from here and I'm going to go Bonnie Owens. And then I'm going to put the state in NC, and that's it. Let's see what we get to pop up. Sometimes it'll work, sometimes it won't. If it's a generic name like Bonnie Owens, it might have too many for it to think about. But sometimes it works great. So right now, I have all these different Bonnie Owenses, 76 of them that live in North Carolina. Now, what I would probably do if I was somebody that was trying to look and see what's going on. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to look at her name, and I'm going to say, where is she actually looking at properties at? And maybe that would get me a better hint of everything. So if I look around here, I see one in Winston that she looked at. Okay. And a Davidson County search right here and everything else. So if I came back over here, I would be like, okay, what is close to this area? Well, I've got one down here in Lexington. I got the one at the top. So I've got two. One in Concord that might be her, but she's 80. You know, Bonnie Jean Owens, maybe that's close. But as a whole, I can sort of guess of which one on here it might be to be able to look. Because if I look up somebody else, call them, they might be like, I'm not looking at properties on your website. I ain't got a clue what you're talking about. And that's totally okay. So that's how we're going to use Forewarn to actually look up people's contact information. And we will give you a part 2 in just a second of how to do it if their information isn't right at all. Let me know if you got any questions on how to use Forewarn or how to research a lead a little bit better before you call them, things like that. And be glad to help you out. Thanks.